Assalamu alaikum, I'm Bhika and you're with us in the lab, empowering, inspiring and informing our viewers. Being able to watch your own children become parents and help them navigate that strange, scary and exciting journey is priceless, not to mention humbling. New parents usually gain a new respect for their elders once they've decided to go down the parenting route themselves. Being a grandma with a youthful heart is priceless, but comes with the expense of juggling a to-do list that's as long as a Nile and maintaining your sanity in the interim. With us in studio today is Rukshaana Carrim, a mom of 2, grandma of 7 kids, and a lady of leisure and travel, and that's been married for 43 years. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. And Haseena Azmuth, a mom of 3, a grandma to 1, super girl, ultra athlete, and the founder of Women Without Limits. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Jazakallah for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
So, what is, we'll start with Auntie Shani. What is your idea of forgetting your age and just living and just being yourself?
Saki, you know, when you're a grandmother, you don't know yourself because you become a child yourself. You adore your children so much, your grandchildren. Your life revolves around them. They are so amazing that you continuously do things for them, be with them, so you don't know yourself anymore.
Okay, so do you feel the same about that, Haseena?
It was very different for me. Initially, when Ariana was born, it was exciting. I was so overwhelmed with it, and I voluntarily gave myself to them, and I said, I am prepared to give 3 days of my life to you. So that's how I got into the cycle of taking care of her in the week. And I don't know now. Now it's become a little bit more demanding, I would say, because as time goes by, you realize that the challenges are different. And you know, as she grows, you are like realizing that there's more to do and maintain in this relationship.
Obviously, so that comes back to Auntie Shani where she says you lose yourself. So is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
It's not a good thing.
Okay.
Because you also have a life, and it becomes strenuous with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the third one comes, and then you're so overwhelmed and you're so exhausted, you know, that you don't have time for yourself. You forget yourself completely.
So my introduction...
You do forget yourself.
Yes, so my introduction where you juggling to-do lists and you're losing your sanity in the interim, it's very appropriate, I would guess. Okay, Haseena, how would you as a grandparent avoid yourself from undermining your children from being parents?
No such thing. No such thing. Because I would think when we became parents initially, nobody gave us a tool.
Yes.
Nobody told us how to do it. No right or wrong way of approaching it.
Okay.
We went into it, we gave our heart and soul, and we did the best thing we could for them, because these are children that we brought in willingly.
Yes.
And we had to nurture them and put them, you know, in perspective, and put ourselves in perspective, knowing that we had to do the best we could. And when it came to my kids, especially Umar, I didn't, you know, at that time I thought, wow, this is my child, you know, becoming a parent. And when I thought about it, I thought, we instilled values in this child. We've reared him in such a manner that I'm sure he will do the best job he could with his own. And it's the same thing with my daughter-in-law. She's come from a very beautiful home, a very solid foundation, and putting the two together, I think they're doing a fabulous job. And let them do it the best way they can. Trial and error, they will learn it as they go on.
Well said. Wow. Auntie Shani, do you believe in that? Do you agree with Haseena?
I do agree with Haseena, but I don't do that.
Okay, give us your
I
perspective.
didn't, because my mom took over my daughter
Really?
when she was a baby.
Okay.
And she would come early in the morning and come and get her.
All
And
right.
then I wouldn't see her. She would bath her, change her, dress her. And we would actually crave to have our daughter with us.
Okay.
And I think I did the same mistake.
Really? So you're not
I
learning?
did the same thing to my daughter. I
All
took
right.
over her children. I became the parent.
Mm-hmm.
I became the grandparent. And I would undermine them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they felt offended. At the beginning it was very nice for them,
Yes.
because they enjoyed their life.
Yes.
And I think afterwards they couldn't say much to me. They were probably afraid to say anything to hurt my feelings.
Okay. So looking back at this, what advice are you going to give to others there not to do that?
Oh, please.
Auntie,
Haseena,
can I just interrupt
Yes, please.
you? Auntie Shan, I do exactly that. I make sure that Farhana and Umar go to work, and they work a solid week. And when it comes to my days, and I must tell you, the 3 days that she's with me, I do all of that. I make sure by the time Farhana gets home that everything is done, so that when she gets home, at least that is done, and she can continue with her normal, relationship with her child. It's difficult because I also have my plate full, but we try and do the best we can. And I think the way they had done, your mom took over. It was to love you in that special way.
Yes.
She did it to
Definitely.
nurture that
Most,
relationship.
yes.
And I think it's the same thing with your daughter. You have that special bond. And I think it's amazing that we can sacrifice for each other. Don't you think?
You know, Haseena, with the first grandchild, it's fine, it's beautiful. The second one comes along, and they're in their comfort zone.
Yes.
The third one comes along, and now there's 3 to see to. It really becomes hectic.
So it's
I think
cutting
it's
part of the
learning.
apple
Yes,
smaller
yes,
and
it's
smaller
smaller.
and dishing
Yes,
out.
no, I understand.
Okay, I've only heard good things about being like a grandparent. So this, what you're saying, is really, really heart touching, and it's very important that we voice this, because you
Yes.
hear things that people say like, "Oh, it's not my kids, so I give them and I nurture them and then I give them back." It's not as easy as that. No, it doesn't
not at
sound
all.
as
Although Auntie Shan's saying it like, from the heart, how she
Yes.
felt, I also experienced that there are times when I need to go and do something very important, and I realize that I have Ariana. Okay, I've got to sacrifice that because I have her, and she's my responsibility till her mom or dad gets home, and that is a major responsibility, because you got to make
Absolutely.
sure that she's taken care of till the time they walk through
They
that door.
arrive.
You can't just pass her over and say, "Oh, take care of her until they get
They
you."
come.
You got to make sure that everything is done properly.
Absolutely. Okay, how do you? This is something now that's been not on my mind, but it's like a really nice, quirky question. How do you deal with grandma rivalry? So I knowing my personality, I would want to be the nanny or the daddy. So how do you deal with that?
Well, my daughters-in-laws are quite old.
All right.
And I think they've had enough of children.
Okay, so they figured out.
I had to go.
Yes.
And they were not in town.
Okay.
They were in the town, so I was the only
Nanny, yes. Okay.
nanny, that's it.
All right. So, Haseena, on your side.
Okay, on my side, we were very fair from day one.
Okay.
We are doting over Ariana because she's the only one, and I think it will phase off. It's the initial phase. So we, on contrary, I want to say that we share her right down to the middle. So if
Is it possible?
So yes, it is. It happens. She's 2.5 years old, exactly 2.5 years this month. So what happens is that I do a Monday, Sabia does, the nanny does a Tuesday, I do a Wednesday, she does a Thursday, and then the Friday goes every alternate Friday.
Okay, perfect.
But I must tell you, I'm so grateful for them because the times that I cannot be there on that certain Friday, Sabia very willingly, and she also works, and she also does her bit, but I think she willingly accepts that, and she takes charge, and she makes sure that I can have that odd Friday off as well. So we have a very good understanding.
So there is solutions.
But I must tell you, it is a struggle with the child because the child has to adapt with one home to the other, where they're not settled in one home and they know their routine. But I must tell you, at the end of the day, she has adjusted very well.
Great. Kids are normally very resilient, and I think if you're doting, they don't mind.
And we also
all.
have the language issue because they're from Maputo and they speak Portuguese, and she would speak Portuguese with her, and she would come home. So I say, let me slana with some Afrikaans.
That's super.
So it's quite nice because it's interesting because we share her, we have fun doing it, and we do have, and it's strange that she adjusts, you know.
No, she'll adjust.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Auntie Shani, okay, now let me ask Haseena this question. Do you ever get fed up and tired?
Of Ariana?
No, not of Ariana. I can't say. Do you get fed up of being a grandma?
Well, this is where my activities come in. I love I love running. I'm very adventurous. I love to do all of that. So I make sure that I get up super early to do a run, so that when Ariana walks in through that door, my day is like for her.
All right.
You know, and the days that she's not with me, I make sure. But we do. It's normal, we are all human, and we do have a build up, and we do have times where we just want nothing to do with anything.
Absolutely.
But you know, you remind yourself that this is not your child. This child belongs to your son and his wife, and she is very precious to all of us. So we always, like our own kids, we make sure that we try and tolerate till we can. And if we're going to explode, then we're going to say, you know what, time out.
Yes.
I don't think I can do this. I think it's only fair that we have a good communication if that has to build up.
Absolutely. Wow.
I would like to add something to that. I was very tired of my kids. I used to get very frustrated.
Yes.
It's dropping off school and
definitely
nappies and all that. But now I miss them. Because I pulled back.
Yes.
Their parents are now taking care of their kids. I really, really miss them.
Obviously.
I would love them to be with me.
Again. Okay, so on that same point, Auntie Shani, how do you draw the line between parenting and grandparenting?
You have to put your foot down. You have to allow the parents to take over. You know, because you brought your kids up, you're not an expert.
Yes.
Because you made your mistakes.
All right.
My mother did that to me, and I did that to my kids. They should learn, parents should learn to take care of their children. You be there as a support system.
Yes.
You have to be there as a support system. Give them advice when they do need them, but don't overdo it. It's not home remedies and my way is better.
Yes.
Things have changed now. If they need to know anything, they just Google it.
Absolutely. And the new generation are quite brilliant and they're headstrong, and I think they'll be able to cope. We're going to round up this, but I want to ask you your most priceless experience, Haseena.
I had a race booked the very next day that she was born. I mean, I usually book my races well in advance.
Right.
So the night she was born, we were hoping that she would be born on the 16th. My daughter-in-law's birthday is on the 16th. Mine is on the 16th, but she was born on the 17th. And the very next day was a race. So she was born at 12:30 and just over going before. And then it so happened that by the time we got to see her, it was 2 o'clock. The race started at 6 o'clock. I was like, oh, okay, I need to get to this race. So eventually when I got to the race, all I did along the way was, I'm a grandmother. I became a grandmother. And it was like, oh, this cuckoo woman. But it was so, I think that's when it hit me in my face that there was this baby girl which I longed for. I've had three sons. I've never had a baby girl in the house, and it was so amazing. And it just hit me there and then that wow, there's a baby girl in our home.
Absolutely, and my hair is standing now. Auntie Shani, your most priceless experience?
It's just holding that baby and just smelling that baby.
Oh my gosh.
Zakira, that's something you should wait for.
Every woman
my mom used to say that the cream is sweeter than the milk, and that is definitely true.
Really, I mean, this was one of the most awesome episodes. It was such a happy and bubbly episode. I'm gonna end now. Well, that's it then. Hats off to two beautiful glamas. Thank you so much for being here. I end today's episode with a really quirky quote. Only the best moms get promoted to grandmas. Thank you very much for joining us. Catch us next week on Lodium Today for another great episode. Assalamu alaikum.
You can watch our episodes on YouTube and subscribe to our profile. Also, stay in touch on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, and we'll keep you up to speed with topics coming up next week. Don't miss an episode.